Welcome back to College Recruiter, where we believe that every student and recent grad deserves a great career. I'm Anna Peters, and I'm back here with Tony Newborn with the City of St. Paul and Jeff Dunn with Intel, and we are continuing our conversation about networking and personal branding, specifically providing advice for the entry-level job seeker who maybe is a little intimidated about what that means. How do I network, and how do I build my personal brand to find a job? So a few more questions for the two of you. A fun one to get started. I'm a visual person, so I like to think of things, I like to think of pictures in my head when I'm trying to imagine a new concept. So if you take networking and personal branding, what sort of pictures come up in your head, or how would you describe it visually?
Well, I think of a wheel, and you at the center of the wheel and with spokes going out to all of your connections. So if you imagine that there's 20 spokes on the wheel, you have 20 connections, and they all have 20 connections. That means that in your second level of connections, you already have 400 people that you can reach out to get your resume to a hiring manager, to tell you about job opportunities, to give you salary data. So it speaks to the power of networking when you imagine that each connection adds more and more spokes to your wheel.
I think of gears then. If you've got 20 people here, 20 people here, they all turn at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I would add to that, I've seen the wheel visual when talking about networking or presentations on networking. I've also just seen the 3 layers of circles. So you have your innermost circle, you have kind of the mid-level, mid-tier circle, and then the outer circle. The outer circle is like friends of friends. Your inner circle is the people who are closest to you, your mentors, the people, your family members, your close friends, and then mid-level circle is maybe their friends of friends or people that are colleagues or associates of yours. And then the outer circle, again, is more of a broader network, maybe all of the people at your job, all the people that are in school that you've touched or had some sort of relationship with. And so the strategy around that is, how do you network? There may be differences in how you network with the people who are part of your inner circle versus the mid-level or mid-tier circle versus the outer circle. And how do you network with them? And what do you ask of them? How do you approach them? May vary depending on the relationship that you have with them.
So to go off of that, let's help job seekers understand how much time they're really supposed to be spending on this, with school, maybe work, everything else going on, friends. In a week, how much time should somebody spend networking, either online or face-to-face?
So there's an old saying that finding a job is a full-time job. Mm-hmm. And with that in mind, I think you want to target at least 20 hours a week in total, meaning that you're going to be researching companies, you're going to be applying online, you're going to be preparing for interviews. You're going to be deciding where you want to reach out at networking events, wherever employers hang out. So nights and weekends, you're going to be doing all this planning and updating your resume and things like that. During business hours, Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, you want to get out and talk to people face to face. Take them for coffee, do informational interviews, get in front of them, give them your story, your elevator pitch, because the more you can connect with people, the more you'll hear about opportunities. So it's not a couple hours here or there looking at websites. It's a campaign, it's focused, it's prioritized. And I'd say if you're serious about finding something, it's at least 15, 20 hours a week.
There you have it.
It is a lot of work, and I completely agree with Jeff. Depending on, whether you're in school or not, or whether you've graduated, the hour commitment will vary. But if you make it, my strategy around networking, especially when I was in law school, is I always went to events that had free food. And those were quite a bit, those events that were offered. And so that way I could eat. I didn't have to spend money because I was a poor student, college student and law student. And then it was an opportunity for me to just meet with people. And so while there, and so that was somewhat part of the strategy. I didn't write it down at the time, but I know that now I do. I kind of plan out when I am intentional about wanting to meet with someone or connect with someone, whether it's related to the City of St. Paul job or a board of commission that I'm on. So if it's free food, if it's an event, a social event, I know eventually, for the most part, I'm going to have a good time. So it can be mutually beneficial experience. And then, I hope so. And with as Jeff said, it stated, coming up with the plan and executing the plan. It's one thing to come up with the plan and develop the plan, but it's another thing to execute it. And so you can do that while eating good food and drinking good drinks and connecting with folks. And the thing about socializing or networking at social events with food is that people are relaxed and they genuinely are happy. And so that's the best time to meet with someone, when they're happy, they're not in a stressful work environment, and they're much more relaxed, and hopefully that can put you at ease as well.
Jeff and I, before we got on the call, we're talking about his fall recruitment plans, and he has just ordered a bunch of food, it sounds like, for his own recruiting event. So students interested in Intel know that there will be food.
Food is always a big draw at events, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely. All right, let's do one more question. Elevator pitch. We all, use the term elevator pitch. 30 seconds, whatever. However many seconds you have to go up to the top floor with the boss. What do you say?
Right. So a good structure is your name, the next job that you're looking for, as specific as you can. Something interesting about yourself, a little success story, something you've recently accomplished in a classroom, in a work situation, and then a call to action, like getting your resume to a person or letting you hear about job opportunities. So, example, I'm Jeff Dunn, I'm a junior, I'm looking for a software engineer internship. I've taken 3 courses in programming, including C and C++. If you hear of any internships, I'd appreciate you letting me know. Memorize that sort of structure as a starting point. Then the employer will ask you questions to follow up and continue the conversation. But at least you've stated who you are, what you're looking for, something memorable and interesting about yourself, and then you can go from there.
Yeah, that's good.
Love that elevator pitch and the recommendations that Jeff gave. I would add to it, depending on how well you know the people that are in the room. So if you know them really well, then do some research as to what some of their interests are. A lot of people have their bios on their website. And, the partner of a law firm or the CEO of a company may put on there, I'm an avid runner, I've ran 10 million marathons and whatever. Mm-hmm. So if running is of interest to you, or even if it's not, pick something that you can talk to that person about, so that you can, because this is part of your, you selling yourself and making yourself available, but also of interest. And, you're drawing interest, and people love talking about themselves.
Yeah,
so if
and
you
you're
can
finding a point of commonality.
Yes, finding a point of commonality with the person, and then, as Jeff stated, make that elevator pitch as to what you're interested in. This is what I would like, and follow up with an ask of, can I send you my resume? And the other piece of this is make sure you follow up. If you happen to, if that CEO gives you their business card or tells you, hey, you can connect with me on LinkedIn, make sure you do that in relatively short turnaround, because they may forget about you, and you want to make sure that you stay at the top of their mind, and their experience with you is at the top of their mind. And so send a quick email or follow up LinkedIn invite to make sure that you've made that connection and that they know who you are. And so when you do apply for that job or reach out to them again, they can associate you, one, with the event that they were at, with the free food, of course, and then also, maybe that point of commonality, or that common interest that you all had around running or golfing or whatever. They will associate you with their interests, and again, they put them at a point of where they may be willing to mentor you or guide you into a position within their company.
Great. Good. There are so many steps to take with that the short elevator pitch. I think, Jeff, you made this point, is to practice it is really important in front of your mirror, in front of your cat, your friend, whatever, so that it rolls off the tongue, because nobody's going to introduce themselves, like, hi, my name is Anna, I'm a junior, and I am going to be a software engineer and looking for an internship. That's not natural. You can practice it so it rolls off the tongue at the right moment.
Yeah.
Great. And it's all about relationships, like Tony said. Well, thank you to both of us, both of you. Very good insight, as always, and I'm sure we will be we'll be in touch about more advice for entry-level job seekers. So stay tuned to College Recruiter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.